Back to your daily dose. My name is Robert. I'm here with Anthony Netto, the co-founder of a product. And I heard you say once known as. Is it not known as the Paragolfer? How do you like it referred to at this point?
Well, we've designed a new version that started 2.5 years ago, and it's now being built in America. And it's now the new version is because we've stopped production in Europe, and we made something that's more stronger and better, and we call it the VertaCat. And that's now
VertaCat.
built in America, made in the US of A. And the good news is that if we can, the patient can prove to the VA that they're going to actively use it, they then go to the VA and they will then get one for them. The Stand Up and Play Foundation is what I started initially because in those days, the last 15 years that I've been doing this, they weren't interested until they realized the last year or two that this is a product that actually can save not only lives, we come back to the skin tear and skin issues, it actually keeps them healthier because you're actively standing. And through active standing, you prevent, UTI issues. You can. Through active standing, you also help your lungs expand. There's a lot of reasons that are out there the last 30 years. It's well known. Why should a paraplegic person actively stand? Now, static standing and active standing, I find, is a lot more fun. Is active standing than static standing. Looking, on your standing frame in the house, watching TV or whatever. People have actually, healthy people have been started standing behind the work desks, where they had for a reason, because they were, it's healthier. And in our case, it was the only way to do it is with a standing frame or a standing device. And with the new version, we have a zero friction standing frame, and that enhances the blood circulation. It also changes the position of the body the whole time, which obviously will prevent, and can prevent the bed sores from occurring, which is still today, as we mentioned, a killer due to the result of blood poisoning.
So let me, recap a little what I heard you say because I want to make sure people got it. Number one, the product, the latest made here in the U.S. is the VertaCat, and I can look that up and I can put the link down here for everybody, right?
Yeah, we'll put the Stand Up and Play Foundation.
Okay, and that's what I was going to mention second, the Stand Up and Play Foundation. So this is a nonprofit, the Stand Up and Play is?
Correct. It's a non-salary based, volunteer based only that I started 15 years ago to help give these chairs to our fellow wounded and first responders and children, because the price tag coming from Europe was, way over almost like in the $30,000 range. And you can imagine you've just had an accident. You've got to, do ramps and doors and bathrooms and everything. And I ended up designing the chair to help children as well as adults. But can you imagine mom's got enough issues, all of a sudden they have another $30,000 budget to have to pay. It was difficult. So what we wanted to do with the Stand Up and Play Foundation was put them on locations where people had access to. And being an adjustable chair, this is why one of the reasons we built the new one, because the adjusting wasn't that easy. It took time. And especially if you had like a clinic, I noticed 5-10 minutes would be okay, but not half an hour to change the different size person, because being a standing frame, you can't have any friction between sitting and standing. So the frame had to fit you perfectly. And this is why with the new version, I'm very proud to say the engineers, they got together and we discussed this from day one. And within, almost a year, we knocked this thing out of the park with a zero friction standing frame. And adjusting within 10 to 30, well, I say 50 seconds max. If it was the smallest kid, it would be 3 foot 2. And 50 seconds later, I could put a 6'4" kid in it. And that was I'm very proud of the engineers. That wasn't cheap, though.
Oh, well, and again, we know as an innovator, and I'm the same in that regard, not making physical product, but making, academic programs and things to reach the community. It's very difficult to get it to work the way you want it to recognize there's going to be failure along the way, to accept all of those things. And there's a cost for all of those things, both mentally as well as financially.
Well, the first few years, the first 5 years with the Paragolfer, I knew what I wanted to build next. And that's why I put 15 years on top of that, or almost a little bit more than that, into the new version with this company that I got together with and partnered with, because I had all that experience. So for them, putting it on a silver tablet it was a lot easier, obviously, and I knew exactly what was needed. I even found the company that had the motors that we wanted to use compared to what we were using. And they basically, it's from the zero-turn electric mowers that you might have heard or seen. Literally, that technology we put into the new version made it obviously a smaller base than the normal lawnmowers, and that's why they're so powerful. And the huge batteries, all we need is 18 holes. Well, they go and they mow grass for 7-8 hours a day. As far as the zero-turn levers, we put it. That's what the company here in company Actus, actually, they did it for us. And it was like almost like a little joystick, if you want to call it. It's a controller, and it even gives us a zero turn without any friction on the wheels in adjusting, because the one wheel will go forward, the other wheel will go back. So those are all the improvements that we've made with the new one. And yes, it has a slight advantage. I can go anywhere. It can't swim and it can't fly. Yet. Maybe the next one.
Well, Anthony, this is great. We're at the end of another episode, but I want to come back and
Sure.
I want to dive specifically into the idea of golf, because that is, as you know, part of my dad's story as well. So hang on, we're going to be back for another episode, okay?
Sure.